Good day. So we will discuss key population health indicators. Our learning objectives are to identify key population health indicators and to interpret and analyze data from key population health indicators. Among the indicators are demographic indicators, which among them consist of age distribution. This is the percentage of the population in different age groups. So, binibilang dyan yung teenagers, working population, senior citizens. Sex ratio, this is the ratio of males to females in the population. Population density is the number of people per square kilometer. Urbanization rate, the percentage of the population living in urban areas. There are also mortality indicators. For example, infant mortality rate (IMR) consists of the number of deaths of infants under 1 year of age per 1,000 live births. Under 5 mortality rate or U5MR is the number of deaths of children under 5 years of age per 1,000 live births. Cause-specific mortality rates is the number of deaths from a specific cause per 100,000 population. So, mapapansin nyo, dun sa unang dalawang indicators, ang denominator nila is 1,000 live births, while dun sa cause-specific mortality rate is per 100,000 population. Why is that? There are also morbidity indicators. So pag morbidity, pag sinabi morbidity, mga nagkakasakit. This measures disease prevalence. It is the number of cases of a disease in a population at a given time. And disease incidence is the number of new cases of a disease in a population over a given period. Health service indicators are, example, health expenditure, the total amount of money spent on healthcare in a population. Health insurance coverage, the percentage of the population with health insurance. And healthcare utilization, the number of visits to the healthcare facilities and the number and distribution of healthcare professionals. So if you have questions so far, please enter them in the in message. There are health indicators for social determinants, like education level. This is the average years of schooling completed by the population. Income level, the average income of the population. Housing conditions, the quality and availability of housing. So quality pwedeng light materials or concrete materials. Pag sinabing light materials, usually wood yon or yung mga kubo na materials. Easy, easy to parang magkaroon ng sunog. Employment status, the percentage of the population in employment. Access to clean water and sanitation is the availability of clean water and sanitation facilities. In general, when presenting a graph, if you mention shows, this indicates the graph presents data. If you say illustrates, suggests that the graph visually represents a concept or relationship. If you say this graph compares, it implies the graph contrasts different values or categories. And if this graph represents, indicates the graph symbolizes or stands for something. statistical terms when presenting data. So, alam nyo na yung mean or average is the sum of all values divided by the number of values. Median is the middle value in the dataset. Mode is the most frequent value in a dataset. Range is the difference between the highest and lowest values. Standard deviation is a measure of how spread out the data is. And correlation is a measure of relationship between two variables. So here is an example of a graph. Figure 1, the graph title is the percentage of live births in the 2 years preceding the survey by place of delivery, Philippines, 2017 to 2022. So this graph shows kasi merong mga data 83, 88, 57, 56, 22, 32, 14, 11. So what does those data mean? Yung first column shows the delivery in a health facility. So, doon sila nanganak sa health facility. Noong 2022, nag-increase compared to noong 2017. This is in percentage. So, sa public sector, halos parehas, 57, 56, so 1% difference. So you can say that they are almost the same. Whereas sa private sector, from 26, nag-increase siya to 32. So there is an increase. Tapos delivered at home, from 14, naging 11. So we can say that there is a decrease in deliveries at home. So sino nagpapaanak pag nasa bahay? Usually mga hilot, uh, faith faith healers, traditional healers. Yeah. So the source is 2017 and 2022 National Demographic Health Survey, or in short NDHS, by Philippine Statistics Authority. So if you noticed, I described from the previous graph the trends and patterns. If you say increase, it suggests a rise in value. Decrease indicates a fall in value. If you say it's growth, well, it implies a positive change over time. So parang nag-growth ang assets, nag-grow, o kaya it shrink, suggests a negative change over time. Stabilized indicates a steady state or lack of change. So parang pagka sinabi between 2017 and 2022, there is no change. So parang ano siya, stable siya dun sa ganong level. Fluctuated suggests irregular or unpredictable changes through time. So example niyan is yung stock market. Nagpa-fluctuate siya, no? Depende sa occurrences sa world events. Trended upward or downward indicates a general direction or change. So pwede nagfa-fluctuate pero yung general direction niya is going upwards. Example, pwede nagfa-fluctuate ang graph na ganyan pero through time mapapansin nyo it is yung general direction niya is going upwards. So trended upward. Pag sinabing peaked or bottomed out, indicates the highest or lowest point. Pagka peaked, pagka dito clear sa graph, nag-stable na siya doon sa ganun level. Kanya 100% na. So, nag-peak na siya. Pag bottom out naman, nag-zero. Pababa naman dito. Tapos, kumbaga, hindi na siya nag-ano. Kumbaga, kunya isang company, nag-declare sila na, oh, bankrupt na kami, kaya wala na kaming mga investors. Bottomed out. Okay? So, ito yung mga certain characters patterns. So, pagka nakakita kayo ng ganitong trend, going up, so increase, ito naman decrease. So, nagfa-fluctuate pero yung trend niya is in the general direction of increase. Ito rin nagfa-fluctuate pero the general direction is decrease. So, ito increase, ito rin increase, ito naman decrease, decreasing, ito rin, no? So, actually, di man nagfa-fluctuate to, pero decreasing yan. Decreasing, this is decreasing, increasing. Ito yan nagfa-fluctuate, pero the general direction is increasing. Ito naman, decreasing. Ito, medyo mixed, no? Merong mga nagdi-decrease, meron ding parang stable siya dun sa taas. Tapos, ang ginagawa nila is kinukuha yung mean or midpoint para to show the general pattern. Okay, any questions about this graph? Meron ba kayong gusto i-clarify? Okay. Comparisons and contrasts. So you can compare yung previous year or you can compare the previous month. Higher or lower compares the values in terms of magnitude. Greater or smaller compares quantities or amount. More or less compares the relative amounts of something. Or different or similar compares the likeness or dissimilarity of items. Consistent or inconsistent compares the uniformity or irregularity of the data. Relationships and correlations. Uh, you can say there is positive correlation or negative correlation indicates a direct or inverse relationship between two variables. Pag positive correlation, pag sinabi mo tumaas yung smoking prevalence sa isang community, tapos ang positive correlation niya, tumaas din yung cases ng may COPD saka lung cancer. Ang negative correlation naman, pag tumaas ang smoking sa isang lugar, ang negative correlation, yung age ng population at the time they get sick ay dati older na sila nung sila ay nagkakasakit, and then through time nung dumadami na yung nag-smoking, yung age bumababa, no, na time na first na mag-consult sila, habang dumadami yung nag-smoke, bumababa yung age. So they are negative correlation. There's an inverse. Nung tumataas ang smoking, bumababa yung age of consult. So, ibig sabihin, habang mas bata pa, nagkakasakit na. Whereas nung konti pa lang yung naninigarilyo, yung age of consult, medyo elderly na or nag-40s na. Pero pagdating dito, pwedeng teenager or early 20s. Strong or weak correlation indicates the degree of relationship between variables. So, pag sinabing strong ang correlation, pag, uh, pag tumaas is smoking, tapos yung Pag tumaas ba si smoking, tumataas din yung people na nagdi-drink ng alcoholic drinks. So pagka malapit yung kanilang difference, small lang yung difference nila, strong yung correlation. Strong, tinatawag nila yan strong. Pagka malayo naman yung behavior, example, smoking and educational level. So mapapansin nila na ang educational level ng mga tao, kung malayo yung difference nila, smoking and education, weak yung correlation. Kumbaga parang nagbe-behave, hindi sila yung behavior medyo different. Okay ba? So, uh, maaaring sabihin mo elementary graduate lang, high school graduate, or college graduate, doesn't matter. Yung habit pa rin ng smoking, nandun pa rin, whether you're educated or not. Yun yung strong and weak correlation. Direct or inverse relationship, same lang yan ng positive or negative correlation. It indicates a proportional or inversely proportional relationship. Line graph, descriptive adjectives. Significant indicates a noticeable or important difference. Dramatic suggests a sudden or striking change. Gradual implies a slow or steady change. Steady indicates a consistent or unchanging pattern. Rapid suggests a quick or fast change. So pagka rapid, no, uh, nag-start siya mabagal, tapos biglang nag-rapid rise, and then nagana. So itong portion na to, yun yung rapid increase or rapid decrease. Pero pag gradual, medyo linear siya. Okay. Dramatic, parang same din ng rapid. Tapos gradual, pareho rin ng steady. So, ano ang significant? There is, pagka yung change ay malaki, noticeable or important difference, sinasabi nila na significant yun. Pero kung ang change maliit lang, nandito lang siya, so insignificant change. Kunyari sabi mo 1%, 2%, so hindi siya ganong significant. So example is here is the performance of PSEI and EPHE since November 2024. So mapapansin nyo ang PSEI 11%. It is the Philippine Stock Exchange Index. Tapos nagbebenta si EPHE ng mga stocks. Sinasabi niya na ang pagka namili ka ng stocks sa amin, sabi niya, mas malaki pa yung kikitain mo compared to the average na kinikita sa Philippine Stock Exchange. So, nagfa-fluctuate, pero ang general trend is increasing. Okay? Pero ang difference between, kunyari, 2024, no? Difference ng PHE at PSEI, significant ba? Pero pagdating dito, pagka bumaba sila, bumababa rin yung Philippine Stock Exchange. So there was a time bumaba ng bahagya ang EPHE pero malaki yung binaba ng Stock Exchange ng Philippines. So, currently, ganito yung state nila. Would you say na significant yung increase nila from 13.9% to 11.2%? Okay. Pagka tinitignan mo lang yung numbers, ah, parang maliit lang, no? Pero yung parang 14 saka 11, 3%. Pero if you are talking about billions of pesos, yung 3% malaki siya. Okay, population pyramid, descriptive adjectives, broad-based. So may nakakita na ba kayo ng population pyramid? Mamaya, I'll give an example. Pag sinabing broad-based, it suggests a large proportion of young people. Narrow-based indicates a small proportion of young people. Kumbaga yung nasa base kasi, nandun yung mga newborns, infants, tapos as you go up, papaedad ng papaedad yung mga population hanggang senior citizens, yung mga elderly. Pagka broad-based, ganito siya. Pagka narrow-based, konti lang yung pinapanganak. So, mas madaming mas matanda, parents, titos, titas, tapos mga lolo, lola, tapos yung mga elderly. So, mapapansin nyo, pag konti lang mga anak ang isang nation, narrow lang yung base nila. Rectangular implies a relatively uniform age distribution. Bullet shape suggests a rapid decline in population as age increases. Cup shape indicates a large proportion of older population. So, tingnan tayo example. Teka. High birth rate, it would suggest a broad base. So, pagka maraming pinapanganak na bata, broad base yun. Low birth rate indicates a narrow base. High death rate implies a tapering shape. Low death rate suggests a more rectangular shape. So, pagka blue zone ang pinag-uusapan, low death rate yon kasi tumatanda yung population nila. Aging population indicates a cup-shaped pyramid, and a youthful population suggests a broad-based pyramid. Social and economic implications. So dependency ratio refers to the ratio of the dependents, both the young and the old, to the working age people. Ang working age people is about 18 hanggang 60 or 65. So everybody else na below 18 saka above 65, sila yung mga dependents. May question ba tungkol doon? Okay. Proceed. Economic burden indicates the potential strain on the resources from a large dependent population. So pag malaki yung dependent population nyo, nahihirapan yung working population. Labor force relates to the proportion of people of working age. Okay, this is figure 1, age-sex pyramid of the Philippines 2020 and 2015. So, noong 2020, household population is 108.67. Noong 2015, household population is 100.57. So, this graph shows. Pero pagdating naman dito sa pyramid, this graph represents. Yung blue are the male and the red are the female. So, makikita niyo yung blue, merong certain changes in shade. So, itong portion na to, these are those age 65 above. Ito naman, age 14 and below. So, ito yung mga dependents. Itong dalawang population na mga male. Sa kabila naman, female. So, more or less, equally distributed sila ng 2020. Except lang may slightly na mas maraming females as they grow older. Okay. So, nung 2015, halos similar nung demographics nung 2015. Source is the Philippine Statistics Authority 2020 Census of the Population. So every 5 years, 2015, 2020, nagsa-survey. So ang next survey nila is 2025. Based on this figure, you can estimate kung ano na ang magiging population ng Philippines by 2025. Can you compute? Paki-answer dyan sa chat box. So, ito yung explanation tukol sa graph. Based on the 2020 census of the population and housing, 2020 CPH, the Philippines had a total population of 109,035,343 persons. Of this total, the household population comprised 99.7% or 108 million persons. Of the 108 million household population of 2020, 55 million or 50% were males, while 53.65 million, 49.4 were females. By age group, 33 million or 30% were under 15 years of age, young dependents. On the other hand, persons aged 15 to 64 years, working age or economically active population totaled 69.4 million or 63.9%, while those in the age groups of 65 years and over, the old dependents, comprised the remaining 5.86 million, 5.4%. In 2015, persons aged 0 to 14, 15 to 64, and 65 years and over accounted for 32, 63, and 48% respectively of the household population. Moreover, there were more males, 88%, than females, 86.6% among the 0 to 54 age group. Meanwhile, among the older age group, 55 years and over, females 13.4% outnumbered the males 11.2%. The same trend was also observed in 2015. So these are the different population pyramids of the different countries.